What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Career Agent for Exploration. We're doing the third of 5 missions. This one is for data site scanning. Now, in the previous mission, we picked up this loot here, and we'll just drag and drop it on our ship. That'll load into the scanner, much like ammo would, and we can drop those two in there as well. Now, this ship is perhaps not the best exploration ship, as it's completely geared towards remote repairing armor. So I don't understand why they gave me one, but I guess that's life. So let's read through the text. It says, first up is a data site, and that means you'll need to fit your ship the civilian data analyzer you picked up earlier. Scan down the site with your scanner probes, find the container inside, and hack it open with the data analyzer. Then bring the results back to me. Your loot from data sites will be useful for invention. We won't go into that here, or probably in any of the career agent missions. They don't get into it there. It's sort of a more advanced industry topic. But invention is a research process that produces blueprints for advanced Tech 2 ships and modules. As a side note, while the training mission is perfectly safe, failed hacking attempts in general may cause the container to self-destruct and even cause damage to your ship. So be careful. This is true. Alright, so we've equipped our ship with what meager things we can. Now, if you hover over this, it'll tell you your base sensor strength is 48 points. As you increase your skills in scanning, as you use higher quality modules, that will raise to 100 and beyond. So that number is a representation of how quickly and whether you're going to be able to scan down some of these sites. And that'll make more sense in a second. So I'm going to hit accept. I'll undock. Bring this. Close that. And we're going to go and find us a data site. Now, if you remember before, we opened up the probe scanner. And that's what this is here. Don't forget that we turned off cosmic signatures. Now, this time I'm going to turn off anomalies, because there's more than enough to worry about. So, alright. This is where things get a little challenging and a little bit confusing. So this is a look at your map. If you left click, you can drag it around. I am going to drag it until I'm looking at it like either top down or whatever. And then if you double click, it'll give you a side view and a top view. Just double clicking somewhere out in here. So to start our scan, I have to launch the probes by doing this, and another way to do it is, I think, perhaps pressing up here. This is a new layout. Oh wow, they really do let you go to... Okay, so you can see here 8 different bubbles. I guess I shouldn't... There we go. Alright, so this is the top down, and this is the side view. So we're working in 3-dimensional space here. Now, most of the time I use the pinpoint formation, and these little buttons determine like what the... You can see, so the, like from the top you can see that our probes are laid out sort of in a circle around us, and then there's 2, one that's above us and one that's below us, and each one sort of has a sphere of about 16. You can see here each probe is scanning about 16 astronomical units around itself. I prefer to use the pinpoint formation, and when you click on that, it automatically changes your probe size, or what it's scanning, down to 4. So, alright, so this is the list of signatures that we've got here. We can arrange it by distance, so if we want to see the closest one to us, and this is just an estimate, or anything. So they are represented by red orbs on the map, or which is centered on a red X. Okay, so if I just searched where I'm at now, I can, let's blow that up to 8. Right, so see how the area or the volume that is covered by these probes is now also covering a lot of those little red orbs. So as I select them, they light up, right? So because there are a bunch here, I've got it centered over a handful of them. I can then use B to analyze, or I can just hit the analyze button. It makes a little sound, and it takes a second or two or five, sometimes more, to sort of scan and search within that space. Okay, so you notice how some of these things moved around. Some turned green, some turned yellow, and some remained red, but they changed from a sphere to a ring. All right, so scanning basically is you trying to home in on an object in space that you don't know. So like you don't know where it's at. Now, if two of your probes are overlapping and find it, technically you should be able to triangulate the location. But the more probes that you have whose sphere of detection is overlapping the actual location of this point, the more quickly you're going to be able to find it. Now, I was able to scan down to green, and once you see how there are percentages here? The higher the percentage, the closer you are to it. And so the smaller the probe size you can use to do this, to sort of drag it around. Now, if I need to drag this, and generally speaking you won't get them this easily, I would drag it like so. And if I hold the right mouse button, I can sort of move the map as opposed to moving myself. And I try to look at it from on top, like so. I try to line it up there, and then if you want, you can grab the arrows and drag them the direction that the arrow is moving. Right, so that does horizontally, the other one did vertically. You can grab the surface and then move it in a plane along that surface, which is usually what I do. But so the fact that my probe size is 2, or visually, I don't even really worry about 2 or 4. I just see visually that the ring, that it exists perhaps somewhere on the outside of this ring. So in order to encompass that ring entirely, I need to increase the probe size and then hit analyze. Now, the things that I've previously discovered will stay there as discovered until I leave the system taking another gate. Right? So, okay, so the thing that I was, or at least that I thought that I was scanning down, I didn't get close to. If I select that, that's the one I'm at, and I'm only 2.8%, right? So I would then come in here, get off there, and move it back, and align it like so, and hit analyze. Now, I also found this data site, and I came very close to it just scanning for something else. That happens. But I'm going to go through this process just to sort of show you what this looks like and how you would go about it, because this is one of the more confusing parts of it. Now, see how this thing moved over here? It's actually closer to there than it was, than it was showing us. So it was on this side of the ring. So okay, so we grab our site there. Now it's 5.8%. We double click, we move that up, and because now we have a little spot instead of a ring, we can actually make our scan area smaller. We go through another analysis to see if we're, what we're bouncing off of. And hopefully that will get even a higher percentage, and we'll be able to get an even more accurate look at where that item is. All right, so it moved down a bit, and that's a combat site. Okay, that's good to know. So we'll align ourselves with that. We'll look down on it and try to center ourselves. There we go. And we can even make it smaller still. There we go. So we just adjust, scan, decrease the scan area, do the same thing again and again, and increasingly, so we're at 25.6%. Now, because I'm already at 1 astronomical unit, and we're only at 25% here, I may not be able to scan this down. I'll be surprised if I don't, because it's in the noob area, but here we go. We'll just move this to the center of our little screen here. And drop it to half of a... there, see now, when we get a little closer, you can see that we weren't exactly lined up. There we go. Now we're at half an AU. I don't know if you've noticed, but because I just started doing this previously, I've been flying at 492 meters per second in a straight line. And there we go, we scanned it down. And it's this Serpentis Watch combat site. So we're really only out here to find a data site. So we'll go to this data site and we can either left click here to warp to it, or we can right click on it and warp to 0. Generally speaking, and I'll do a video about sort of exploring in the wild and not where you're guaranteed to find things, but when I find a site, I will save it and name it in the system that I'm in, and just sort of get a list of all of the things that I've scanned down, and then once I'm done scanning, then I'll go from site to site and sort of figure it out. Another way to do it, if you think you're being rushed or that there's a reason to get in, get something and get out, is you scan one down, go to it directly, you know, do what you need to do, and then jump out of there and scan down the next one. So we'll warp to this one. It's a training area for capsuleers, studying how to scan down data signatures. Once the area is discovered, capsuleers must use the civilian data analyzer module to recover the proof of discovery document from inside. Okay, now for the moment we're done scanning, so you want to recover your probes. Alright, now this thing hasn't reloaded yet, but like a weapon, you just right click and reload, and it loads those probes back into your cargo, or into the scanner. Man, that made me jump. Damn dog. Hey, come here. Alright, so we're here, we've got this, Ella, come here. We've got this training container, so we're going to approach it. No. Generally speaking, these two scanners have a range of about 5,000 meters. I usually orbit whatever my target container is at 3,000 or 3,500. When you do this in a much higher level ship, if you're in a covert ops ship, you can orbit the thing that you're trying to hack or scan or whatever, and if you're outside of 2,500 meters from the object, if somebody shows up, you can immediately cloak yourself and get away relatively safely. If you are under 2,500 meters, you won't be able to enter cloak and you will likely die. So, okay, so we're orbiting, and now we need to target it like anything else. We got the training data container selected, and we hit our analyzer. Now we can turn it off once it's started. It's also worth setting auto repeat to off on these, because there's no reason for it to continue going. And this is the mini game that you start when you get into hacking. I'm going to close this. When you get into hacking and archaeology, so you start here, and you can see kind of the little gray spots here, that these are the potential nodes that you're going to be exploring. Now this is going to go relatively quickly, and it's pretty easy in this level, but it's kind of like a little mini game. So this is your effective attack strength, so to speak, or your virus strength, because you're using a virus to penetrate this compound. And this is your health, or your coherence. So attack strength, health, it's like any other game. You need to get what you want without dying. And so you just click, you're only able to access nodes that are directly adjacent or next to the one that you're in, and you start in the little yellow or the little orange circle. So we'll go here. See how it says 4? The 4 tells you how many nodes away from either a piece of loot or the lock to this whole mechanism, right? Which is what you're searching for at the end here, right? So four nodes away, it means it won't be up here. This will probably be 5. Yep. So 3, we're 2 away, 1. And now this is a defense subsystem. Specifically, it's a firewall, but it has 20 health and does 10 damage. So if I click through it, I will take 10 damage and hopefully kill it on the second attack. But each time I attack, I take damage. That's the only time that I will take damage, generally. So, okay, so that thing blocked this, and that also blocked off these 2 nodes here. So this was showing that we were one node away from it, which means that there's something to be picked up here or here. And since it's not here, we know it's probably one of those. But we'll move around. So, okay, 3, 4. So if it's 4, 3, 2, 1, it's probably right there. So there's nothing down here for us to get into, and we're going to have to, get to this. So, all right. So we click on it once. Its health goes down 10. Ours goes down 10 because we both have attack 10. I click on it again, and that's where it is. So this is the system core, or the lock, or the final whatever that we were looking for. And it's like anything else, right? So if I click on it, I will take 10 damage. And now I'm down to 5. Now, if I click on it again, you might think that I would take another 10 damage, and it would take 10 damage, and while it would die, or I would open it, I would also die. That's not the way it works. If you make an attack that would clear the defense of the thing you're attacking, you don't take damage. So I guess if you play Magic the Gathering, it's like having first strike. So I click on it. The hack is successful. I now can open it, and you notice that the little filled in icon is no longer filled in. It is open. So I hit open cargo. This is what's inside. I loot it, and we're done. So generally speaking, there may be 6 or 8 different containers or access sites at any given site. So you're going to want to show up and just start working your way around methodically, sort of taking care of them. Yep, Tech 2, all kinds of useful resources. That's fine. I got the thing I came for. I can now unlock that target and warp home, verifying that I do have the proof of discovery for data. And we're good to go. I've got my probes back in the launcher, and those are ready, and we're off to hand it in. So this is pretty involved. Both the scanning portion of it, which takes some personal skill, but largely relies more on your character's skills. And then there's also some skill and strategy involved in the whole hacking and archaeology type minigame, where, you know, if you, I don't know, there are different defensive subsystems that you can find that you need to avoid, some of which can just be, like, if you just go around it like we tried to do, that works. Some of them are a bit more disturbing or destructive, and so you want to take those out immediately, and we can get into that in another video. But for now, we finished the data site scanning, which is 3 of 5 for the exploration career agent, and I'll see you in the next video. We hand this in, make a little money. We're over 4 million now, so that's good. So I'm Abe, but I tweet under @Vinsis Gaming. I'm over at errantgamer.com. And if you have anything to say, either email me there, or contact me there, or hit me up in the comments. And yeah, we can, I'll hopefully be able to answer whatever questions you might have, or make a video to help you out. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.